Welcome to Mindful Mondays. We've been having quite a chat in the Zoom room about moving forward, having had a little break and talking about the importance of the breaks and gaps and resting and taking time and listening to our bodies when our body's sending us messages, which is what it's all about. Some of you will know that Befriending Me, the course, starts this week, which starts tomorrow, Tuesday, the 27th of September. I'm saying that for the benefit of the recording if you happen to be watching this recording weeks down the line. But Befriending Me starts this week. And we're going to keep Mindful Mondays going unless at times we just need to have a break again, in which case we will. And we'll also interlace some of the themes from Befriending Me into Mindful Mondays, so we haven't got too much like an avalanche of information. So an invitation to start just to try and notice how you feel this morning. Not asking you to change anything yet, but just notice how you feel. Notice how your breath feels. Notice how your body feels. Notice on this day if there's something going on for you, whether it's in your head, in your body, something distracting you. Anything that you can notice and pause, put onto one side. I think one of the things that we have to do, or I invite us to do, is let go of some of the expectations we have of ourselves and the idea of perfection in whatever it is that we're doing. And I'm telling myself that as much as you. Even as we sit here, and I can never tell if you can hear, but an aeroplane just noisily went overhead, and a little voice jumps into my mind to say, oh no, that's already spoiling it. No, it's not. It's just life. Let it go. Notice it. Accept it. Let it go. And we're going to have a little bit of movement. We're not going to explore an embodiment pose this morning because we're going to wait for the first one in Befriending Me and tag onto that. But I'd like us to feel into our bodies. So we are going to, or I'm inviting you, to have a mini sun salutation. Don't shriek and pull back in horror. You can do this lying down, and you can most definitely do it seated. I'm going to move to that chair there to do it. So don't pull up into your mind an idea of something that you've seen on Instagram as to what that might represent. Let me just move the noisy chair and move over there. You don't have to be on a yoga mat, and I've still got my warm boots and socks on because it's freezing in here. Finding a comfortable position in a chair is good, but it's fine if you're lying down. Feet on the ground and perhaps sitting a little bit taller. Notice your body again. And first, as we inhale, we're just going to take the arms up. Inhale and sweep the arms up. Exhale and bring them back down. Choice this time. You can stay seated and do exactly the same, or you can stand up at the same time. No judgment, both are just as good. Inhale, stand and sweep if you choose to stand. Exhale, come back down. Pause and breathe. Don't hold your breath. Same again, either seating or standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up, arms overhead. This time, exhaling into a forward fold. So if you're standing, soften the knees, arms come down, you might want to have your hands onto something. You might even want to sit down at the same time and drop your hands down. Hands near the floor. And breathe. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift. So if you're sitting, you're just going to rise up. Long spine, hands might go on your blocks. If you were standing, you do the same, just rise up. Exhale, down. Back to your fold, sitting or standing. On the next inhale, arms are going to the ceiling again, sitting or standing. Inhale up, knees are bent if you're standing. Reach up. Exhale, back down and sit. One more. This time I'm going to do it completely seated. You have the choice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold, arms down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. Exhale and release. Maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze. Just notice. Notice how you feel. Notice if there's any change in how you feel in your body with that kind of movement. You can do that lying down, you can do it on your side. I'll actually demonstrate it next time lying down as well so that you can see how you can adapt it. But whatever we do, there's always options. You never have to take a particular approach. Okay, I'm going to come back. Our bodies love movement. And one of the things that happens, especially if we're stressed, exhausted, have chronic health challenges, our movement reduces. And so finding ways to sneak movement in. Your body knows what to do. We just have to encourage little bits. And that might just be one. It might not even be that high. It might be. But just bringing some extra movement. I reached a point earlier this year where I felt like I'd ground to a complete halt and I had this desperate need to move and I didn't know how to. And we started having mini walks, really mini walks. Sometimes a mini walk might be across a room, but I just knew that my body needed movement. So we're going to have a guided meditation practice. And I invite you as ever to find the position that you would like today. You can sit tall, but if lying down with cushions and blankets and bolsters is what your body is craving, then please listen to those signals. Get comfortable. In this practice, we're going to focus on noticing whatever arises and trying to do so without getting too attached to whatever it is. Just noticing. And often usually in these practices, we have kind of a repetition, a mantra, something that I say. And one of the ones that we've used before, that we're going to use today, can be an anchor if that helps you. And the repeated bit will be the chest. It's about noticing the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet and the breath. So the words can be an anchor and they can bring you back to noticing those areas of the body. But your breath can also be an anchor. So settling into that position of your choice, perhaps softening your gaze or closing your eyes if you wish, and bringing awareness and attention back to your breath. Just noticing. Awareness of the inhale, the expansion that comes with the inhale, and then that slight pause at the very top of the inhale, and then the flow into the exhale as the body softens. The inhale with expansion, the exhale with perhaps a little extra ease and relaxation. And as you notice the breath and sense the breath, also notice the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and the breath again. And have a brief scan of your body, right down to the tips of your toes, up your legs, your hips, your back, front of the body, right down your arms, hands, fingers and thumbs, the neck and the head. Just scanning, not staying anywhere. And noticing anything that captures your attention, whatever arises. No need to get into the story. Just notice and move on. And then let your awareness wash over the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and the breath. Knowing that resting here in this practice, you have nowhere to go, nothing to do, just to be. Awareness of your body resting here, in this moment, this embodied presence here and now. Feeling awareness within. And as a body, as a whole body. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the space around the head. That layer of air, spaciousness over the back of the head, the top, the sides, over the face. And sensing or imagining the space within the head. And with your attention gently resting in your head, noticing whatever arises. sensations, emotions. Perhaps you can imagine that space around the head extending out, all around the head, growing sense of space. And a sense of spaciousness within the head, growing, noticing whatever arises there. And then notice the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and the breath. Letting your awareness move to your arms. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the space around the arms, over the shoulders, around the upper arms and lower arms, and hands. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the space within the arms, within each arm. And noticing whatever arises there. Tingling, numbness, warmth, whatever's there. There isn't a right way to feel or to notice. Then sensing into the space around the arms again, extending out. Around the whole of each arm. And the space within. Noticing, feeling, whatever arises. And then notice the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and the breath. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the space around the chest. That layer of air over the front of the chest, up to the neck, down to the waist, round the sides, and over the back, the upper back. And then imagining or sensing the space within the chest in this moment. Perhaps sensing expansion there. The space within the lungs, around the lungs, within the heart, around the heart, and whatever else arises there. If anything feels uncomfortable, then let your attention move back to something more neutral. Sensing or imagining the space around the chest extending out, growing. And the space inside the chest as though expanding. And any new sensations that arise, just noticing. And then with awareness, the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and the breath. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the space around the belly, that layer of air across the top of the belly, around the sides, the lower back, and sensing the space within the belly. Noticing whatever arises. No need to dwell. Just notice, acknowledge. And sensing the space around the belly, extending out, growing. The space inside the belly, expanding. Noticing again whatever comes up, whatever is there right in this moment. And then notice the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and the breath. Letting your awareness slide into the legs, both legs. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the space around each leg, the layer of air, like a blanket. Sensing the space within each leg. Noticing whatever arises there. Acknowledging, sensing, and letting it go. Sensing or imagining the space around both legs extending out, around the full length of the legs. Sensing the space within the legs expanding. And again, whatever arises in this moment. And then notice the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet and the breath. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the mouth and the jaw, the space around the mouth and the jaw, the space within. Noticing whatever sensations are there. Maybe cool or warm, vibrations. Sensing the space around the mouth and the jaw extending out. The space within the mouth and the jaw expanding. Whatever newly arises there. And noticing the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet and the breath. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the space around each hand, each finger and each thumb. The space between them, cushioning. And that space within. Whatever arises there in this moment. Sensing that space around the hands and fingers extending out. And the space within as though expanding. With whatever sensations are there. And then notice the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet and the breath. Sensing or imagining the space around each foot and each toe. The space between each toe. And the space within both feet. Noticing whatever arises there in this moment. And imagining the space around each foot extending out, growing. And the space inside each foot expanding. With any new sensations that arise. And notice the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet and the breath. Perhaps you can sense the whole body here, feeling into the whole body in this moment, sensing the space around the whole body and the space within. Noticing whatever arises within the whole body in this moment. Sensing or imagining the space around the whole body extending out from the front of the body, the sides of the body, the back of the body, extending out in all directions. And the space within the body expanding. Sensing yourself here as a whole body. And whatever arises. And noticing the chest, the belly, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet and the breath. Allowing your body to rest here with this sense of space and expansion in this moment. Resting here for the next couple of minutes. And as we come to the end of this practice, sensing yourself here, your whole body, yourself as a body, beginning to notice the sounds around you in the space that you're in. Perhaps deepening the breath, taking any movements that your body needs, gentle movements or a stretch, and slowly, as you're ready, open your eyes if they were closed, and coming back the screen. Thank you very much for joining us in this practice. I'll stop the recording now and speak to the Zoom room. How is everybody? You can unmute, but you don't have to speak. Sometimes we don't want to speak. That's okay.